Hi, my name's Nicole, beautifulsoulsmission.org. I want to talk a little bit about multidimensional and how this affects us in this lifetime. And again, why forgiveness is so important and how we just keep carrying stuff over lifetime after lifetime. I have a son, he's 24, about to be 25. And I'd known from the time he was born that we were soulmates. Just knew it. It was like a really deep connection. Now, if you know anything about soulmates, you'll know that some of your soulmates from your soul family are not here. It's not all love and light and rainbows and sunshine. It's actually some really hard stuff that needs to be healed and brought to the surface. Really challenging. Now, we've always had a really great relationship, but we also had a lot of heavy stuff that we needed to clear out, and it didn't really understand it. My son chose a very challenging path for him to go down. And it started around 11, 12 years old, and it lasted on up until now. And it used to feel like he was intentionally trying to hurt me. I knew that he wasn't, because he was my son, he loved me, we had a good relationship, but it felt like that. And it was a few years ago, I ended up getting this healing from this woman. And as I'm getting the healing, and this just really helped me understand why every time I would get a reading from somebody, they kept saying I needed to heal on abortions. I've had abortions in this lifetime, and I thought I have healed on them, but I didn't go far back enough to the root, right? So in that lifetime, the lady pulled up to heal, I had had a botched abortion. And I didn't forgive myself for it. I didn't forgive myself for ruining my body. I didn't forgive myself, for all the processes that went along with it. So I also was with this man who, I was a black woman, he was a white guy, and he was well beyond his years of just unconditional love, like really understanding it. I think this was around the World War II time. He also was from a prominent, white family. But after the war, he had a lot of PTSD, and he had walked away from his family. He didn't like what they stood for, and so he walked away, and we met. Now, I didn't understand what was going on with him at the time. He had a lot of PTSD and addiction issues. So we go through this healing. She also did a healing on my son. Well, lo and behold, my son was actually the man from that lifetime. And as she does this, she says he feels a little bit bad because he's been using your son to hurt you. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, she didn't say it. She just kind of wrote what happened in there. And I said, I have always felt like my son was intentionally trying to hurt me. But I knew that he wasn't. And she goes, I didn't really want to say that to you, but yes, that's exactly it. He feels a little bit bad for using your son as the vessel to harm you. And I thought, this all makes so much sense now. Now, what makes even more sense is my son got his girlfriend pregnant when he was around 16, turning 17. And I was so angry at the time when it first happened. I mean, I was 35 maybe. And I was just like going through every thought possible. What if I want to have more kids? I mean, it was just like, and we ended up arguing like grown adults. Like, this is the first time he's ever really challenged me. And we were having a really intense argument about it. And when I finally, calmed down, I knew that I would do whatever I needed to do for my grandson. So I became everybody's mom. And anyways, that's a whole story all by itself. But understanding this now and having this healing, I could now put together why that moment was so intense for us. Because it wasn't just in this lifetime, us playing out that situation. It was from that past lifetime, us playing out the situation. This is where your past, present, and future lifetimes are still playing out now, in the now. When you are triggered, most of the time, it's a scenario from a root cause, right? That's active now. So another story with that. Keep in mind, before I go on to the other story, my son, I could tell the difference in the energy. This is my son, this is not my son. So he had to do a lot of healing on himself to actually release that lifetime, and say, I no longer wish to carry you forward, which we got there, and it's great. And he could even see in the meditation him with the addiction issues. And in fact, those issues were they were carried forward in this lifetime. So anyways, another multidimensional aspect of why this is important on this journey to kind of date the people that are coming in your life, not to stay there, but I think it's really for us to heal from the past lifetimes. So I didn't date for almost 3 years while I've been on this spiritual quest. I've been fully committed to healing myself, healing my family, doing what needs to be done. And I started getting, messages, hey, get back out there, start dating, get your heart back open. And I'm thinking, okay. So I started talking to this guy, and it was just, he lived in California, I lived here. It's fine. So we're talking, and things that he, was saying to me, I kept getting this feeling, like I kept hearing this part in me that would just say, I love him. And I'm thinking, who is saying that she loves him, right? And I go back to the same lady. She pulled up like 5 lifetimes of mine that were really important. And, one was with my son. And then she brings up a lifetime where I was from Scotland, and I moved over here. And I was white, and I was married to a white man, but we had a slave, and I was pregnant by the slave. And when my husband had found out, I was 6 months pregnant, he choked me and killed me, and then he killed the slave, that I was with. Well, I'm shown by spirit that the guy that I'm talking to is the slave that I was in love with. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is who loves him. This is why I keep hearing, I love him, right? But then I'm shown, this is where it's like there is no time and space, right? When I was 19 years old, 19, 20, I was 20 years old. I had just had my son. And my son's father and I broke up the week I had my son. And he was dating somebody else and with somebody else. Well, I decided, this hurt me actually more than it hurt him, to get back at him. I was not going to come back home while he was watching my son that night. And that set him off. It triggered a response in him, even though he was with somebody else and we were not together. So I ended up coming home to get my son. And there was this night I was staying there and my back was turned. And he literally grabbed a belt, put it around my neck, and was trying to strangle me. And I ended up getting out thinking he's crazy. And all of a sudden I'm shown by spirit, my son's father was the guy from the lifetime where I was strangled to death and killed. And so my journey in this lifetime has been to forgive him for multiple different things, right? Which I have done. And I'm telling you, the amount of tests that I have gone through to not get sucked back into hating anybody has been to the max of extremes. The max. Even down to like in February of this year, my son's father and him together, there was an incident where my son got shot in the head and killed somebody in self-defense. And my test was, will I go back to hating his dad? And I didn't. I did fumble a little bit and was a bit angry with my son for even putting himself in that situation. But I had to forgive myself for that. And that's like a whole nother story. But anyways, so these are all these different aspects of people that we need to continue to keep loving and forgiving ourselves. Now that guy from that lifetime, I was able to love him and let him go too. So loving people is like the key to freeing yourself from some of the most intense situations that we're in. It's loving yourself and just loving them so much that it just bounces you into the next level and the next timeline that you're to be on. I hope that this makes sense to you, and it's like, not too much to put the pieces together, but I've been, on this journey, and I've been being tested to the max of, will I stay true to myself? Will I continue to heal myself? I've been through a lot of stuff, like a lot of everybody else out here in the world. Like, we've all been through something that's been really difficult and hard, in our life, and where forgiveness has been, some things, you want to say that they're not forgivable, but when you really understand the concept of how much it frees you so you don't have to come back and experience this again, you know that it's your best friend. It's truly the gift that you've been given. And it's one of the gifts I've been given, was to really truly forgive, and to teach others how to truly forgive and detangle themselves from some situations that are hard. And life is messy. It is messy here. It is not easy. By no means has this path been easy, but now I really can look at it from new eyes and say that it was happening for me. Even when it felt like it was happening to me, it was happening for me, and the amount of strength and courage that I have accumulated on this journey, it's like, I can't even describe to you how much stronger I am. Like, it was like looking even at older videos that I've done, I'm like, yeah, that was like the girl, and now I'm the woman, right? Like, fearless, courageous, strong, determined, right way of living, wisdom, integrity, truth, understanding, compassion, love. Like, this can happen even in chaos. You can get through this even when the world feels like it's against you. I did almost give up. It was sometime in August. I could just feel myself saying, this is like too much. I can't do this anymore. Like, this is heavy. And I was at an acupuncturist appointment, and the gentleman that was treating me, I just met him, he kind of leans in and he whispers to me, "We want you to stay." And I knew he was talking about my soul. I knew my soul was getting ready to check out. It was like, this is so, where's the love? Where's the compassion? Like, this has gotten so intense that, I'm having a hard time finding my way out. And it's like, you know what? You're almost there. Don't give up now. And there was a bit more healing that has had to take place to get me here, but I'm grateful I didn't give up. So if there's anything that you're going through on this journey and you just feel confused and you would like some help with it, please feel free to reach out. It's Nicole, and I'm with beautifulsoulsmission.org. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. You're not alone. We're all going through this. And some people, I think for me, it's just important for people to know that really always remember that when you see, there's no perfect fix. There's no one size fits all for this journey. There's a whole bunch of different ways to get there. If anybody tells you that this is your like fix all type thing, like take all of this and you'll be healed, they're lying, right? Like, it is when your soul is ready, you're going to get the healing that you need, and you're going to match up with the person that you need, and keep doing it that way, because it is a journey. And for me, it's just been, I needed to get triggered at the right time. For me, that's the way that I kept healing, was when I would get triggered, and it was like, oh, there's more. Go in and heal it, right? But now I know how to do it, so that's why I teach everybody else how to do it, so you can really move through it in an easier, more graceful way. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.